chances are you have fought Leo online and thought, what the heck is going on? I've got you. It's all good. English Dictionary Volume 2 is here. This is going to be the first countermeasure video I do. I chose this because this is what pretty much 99% of Leos do. And their win condition kind of revolves around it. Is the cross up. Now, there's obviously going to be some mind games with it where it is going to have to be a case of you just having to know. You recognize the patterns and understanding when the Leo you're fighting against is going to want to do it. This video is just going to show you options to beat it when you have that foreknowledge in the first place. Unfortunately, there's not really a very strong OS against it. And I say this as the Leo player, but me personally, I'm constructed uniquely. I don't need to cross up people to win. But like I said, 99% of Leos do. So this video is going to show you some easy, optimal, practical, and constructive ways around it. And I'll throw some character specific ones near the end as well. So this is Leo, the king of the jungle. You're going to see this a lot. 4S, 5H, cross-up wrecker. Now, in a perfect world, you do this after conditioning your opponent with this. The wrecker that stays in front. Once you've conditioned your opponent to block the one in front, then you should start going for the cross-up. But to do that, it takes a couple of matches or rounds of you giving up neutral, basically, or giving your advantage away. Maybe not neutral. So you'll have to do stuff like delayed wrecker, because you want to catch your opponent trying to jump away from the cross up or trying to grab the cross up. Then that's when the cross up becomes really strong. If you've got half decent reactions, you can use some of the techniques that I show here to get out of it. All right, let's get to the good stuff. The reason you're here in the video, to get to that penthouse floor, also known as celestial, here is what you can do. All right, everyone and their parents know you can throw it. This is the thing, right? Probably the first thing you've been told to do against it. That's light work. That's the easy stuff. But it is very good. Throws the 2 frames. Most of the strings that Leos are going to do to you will have a big enough gap. Now, buttons are going to differ, meaning the cross up is going to be harder or easier to punish because the frames will be different. If you're in block stun a little bit longer than 5H in the cross up wrecker, it's going to be harder to throw, even though the throws are really quick. The reason you can't just hold up on this move is because the 5H and 5S actually have a gap in it. So if you just hold up and don't anticipate or try to react to the cross up, you just get hit with a mid. So that's why there's no other like really easy option, because otherwise I'll just say hold up back. When he goes for either wrecker, you'll block the one that stays in front, or you'll jump away and escape the one that crosses up. But you can't do that. So you have to be ready to implement these techniques. Okay, so the most optimal one is going to be, believe it or not, that ID back and then whatever your good air button is. In the case of Leo, you can use heavy here. Timing's a little bit tricky, but it is doable. This will probably net you the most damage. There's going to be some other options that can net you damage, but it's going to leave you in a very tricky situation whether it could be a punish or it couldn't be a punish depending on what the Leo does, which sounds really weird because then it wouldn't be a punish if the Leo had an option, but I'll explain later. But yeah, I'll show you this punish and what you can get from it. You can get something like that. Sorry I didn't warn anyone, this video is gonna double up as ASMR button video as well. Might get some more views that way. But yeah, that's the kind of punish, if you're Leo, you can get. From what I tested, as long as you got an IAD, you can do this punish. It's a little bit harder with Zato, but yeah, IAD, backdash. Falling button is a punish. You can't do anything about that. So if you really want to punish someone for doing cross-up Rekka predictably, you can do that. Now, let's go to something slightly different. You can be, if you're more of a, like a defensive player, or you want to try and avoid as many scrambles as possible, there are a kind of OS-y stuff you can do. The OS one is character specific. You can't do it with all the characters. It's going to depend on how fast your character moves forward, basically. I'll show you with Leo, but if you're familiar with Dragon Ball, it's a dash block. So the reason this works fairly well is that this will also protect you from same side Rekka if it's delayed. If it's done quickly, it's normally a true string, so you're fine. So you just won't get the input. But what you do is you dash forward with a button. Dash button is obviously a macro you can have in a game. And then what you do is you block left. So if you're on the left hand side, you dash forward, block left. The reason this doesn't work with Leo, as you'll see, Leo can't move forward enough out of the range of the cross up. So if he does do the same side Rekka, I would block that. You'll see me dash very, very slightly forward and then block. But because he doesn't move forward enough, he does get clipped by this. So this technique, like I said, is character specific. It doesn't work with everyone, but it's a very good way to just negate a really scrambly situation. Leo is going to be in back turn, and that is when he's going to start beating his chest, going a little bit unga. But when this works, you're out of the range. You can just move away from him. You can disengage completely in the close quarter combat that Leo's trying to initiate on you. So now I've shown you not to work with Leo. I'll pick a character I know it does work with. So let's use Chip as an example. Very quick mobile character. Now with this OS, it would allow Chip to get his backdash out, which looks like that. His dash, unfortunately, isn't fast enough to escape the Rekka on its own. He will get clipped. There we go. So that's what it looks like when he gets the dash. But if you delay it properly and do this OS, what happens is you get the backdash. This obviously entails that the Leo has to be, you know, crossing you up. So you have to do it slightly later. But if he does get the backdash, he can completely avoid the cross up, which looks a little bit like this. There we go. And when the OS is done correctly, what happens is this option from Leo, which is same side Rekka, there we go. That will just get blocked. As you can see, the input's still the same as before. As Leo's doing as a true string, nothing comes out. If I were to delay it ever so slightly, have a look. There we go, a bit of a delay in the Rekka. You will get this. I was a good player. Seeing this work first time. Oh, even an insta block. We'll take that. There we go. So that's what you get. When done properly, unfortunately, my execution, you know, isn't the greatest, but the example has been shown. So there are options like that. Again, quite character specific. Not everyone can do this. Actually, most characters cannot do this. So I definitely encourage you to go lab, see what your character is capable of. There are some other nuances that you can maybe exploit with your character. If you pick a character like Milia, she doesn't have the speed to do what Chip does with the dash block, but she has a command dash, which helps a lot versus Leo's in this sort of range. So this move right here, very, very good. Not so much for the forward Rekka, but oh, I lied. There you go. When you get the reversal timing, it is actually very good. I haven't actually tested it for the forward Rekka. I've only tested it for the cross up. So that's making it a very strong option for Milia right now. Let's see. There you go. Nothing more to say. It took me 2 seconds to lab, and I found out that Milia can kind of use that one option to avoid both. I mean, sometimes it's not cool to lab defensive options. Everyone wants to do combos, but here you go. I'm doing the heavy lifting for you guys. If you're a Milia player, you are welcome. That covers most of the, I'll say, the practical ways out of it. One thing to note is the way Leo's cross up is programmed is when he crosses you up, even if you're facing the wrong way and they do a button, it will hit Leo. So they kind of leave like a phantom hitbox in front of you when Leo crosses you up. This is going to be pretty hard to show. There you go. So if you could see it there, Milia didn't turn around to hit Leo, but Leo still got hit. There are some counter hit confirms that might work out in your favor in terms of damage. I don't think you'll get anything as a combo because that cross up does knock you up in the air. But there are times where mashing is kind of a good option. I'm not gonna lie. It obviously does depend on your character and your fastest move. But just like Guilty Gear, you're gonna have to take your character and find your best options versus it. Hopefully this video is gonna help you guys not get beat by Ungolios. I'll be doing as many of these as necessary to help people fight against Leo in very specific situations. Maybe when I've done a couple, I'll kind of have a general idea of what things to look out for in neutral. These things are going to be, you know, kind of when you're in the lion's den, what you do. And then maybe down the line, I'll do something like how to avoid going in the lion's den full stop. But yeah, hopefully this is useful to you guys. Please go share the Google Doc, the King's Dictionary Volume 2, to help people not just beat Leo like this video is doing, but to learn Leo as well. So yeah, thank you guys for checking this out, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.